What a difference a year makes. In Harrisburg, for example, temperatures last year didn't hit 90 in May, June, or the first week of July, while this year it's already happened a half dozen times. And the numbers are different, but the story's the same elsewhere in the state. In fact, about 2/3 of the days since May 1st have been warmer than average. But despite that tendency, there haven't been many high temperature records set. At the major stations, I could only find these since May 1st, and this includes yesterday. But there's been some unprecedented heat in other parts of the globe. In fact, 8 countries on 2 continents have broken all-time high temperature records. The heat was most intense in Asia, in Pakistan, where the mercury crept above 128 at Mohenjo-Daro on May 26th, with temperatures above 122 at 9 other Pakistani cities that day. 2 weeks earlier in Myanmar, temperatures topped 116, the highest on record in that country, formerly known as Burma. That's also a record for Southeast Asia. Also, the Asian part of Russia set its heat record 2 weeks ago when the mercury went above 108 in Belogorsk, near the China border. The average high there is about 77 this time of year. Next, we'll head to the Middle East, where the temperature reached 126.7 in the Kuwaiti city of Abdali on June 15th, the highest temperature on record in that country. The day before, Iraq had its hottest day on record when the mercury hit 125.6 in Basra, about 30 miles north of the Kuwait border. And that same temperature was measured a week later in Jeddah, the second largest city in Saudi Arabia, setting a new record in that country. The intense heat was accompanied by a sandstorm that caused 8 power plants to go offline, resulting in blackouts to several Saudi cities. Meanwhile, in Africa, 3 countries on the southern fringes of the Sahara set all-time high temperature records in late June. Chad had its hottest day on record on the 22nd, when the temperature reached 117.7 at Faya. The next day, Niger broke its all-time heat record when the mercury topped 118 at Bilma, exceeding the previous national record by 2 degrees. And finally, on June 24th, Sudan measured the highest temperature in its recorded history when the temperature hit 121.3 at Dongola. Now, these Asian and African countries don't have extensive weather observing networks like the U.S. does, and all records are unofficial until certified by the Extremes Committee of the World Meteorological Organization. But setting this many national heat marks in one summer is pretty unusual. The last time anything comparable happened was in 2003, when 6 European nations, the United Kingdom, France, Portugal, Germany, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein, broke their all-time heat records. There were on the order of 30,000 fatalities in Europe related to that notorious summer heat wave. Fortunately, the residents of the countries in Asia and Africa affected by this summer's exceptionally high temperatures are more adapted to extreme heat, and thus we haven't seen that kind of human toll. Fred is back with the extended forecast next.